Hello, Nadia. Welcome to the Creative Insider podcast.
Hello, everybody.
It's nice to have you on. You are the winner of our giveaway for the D2 conference. You got the ticket. You were lucky
Yeah,
uh, because
once in my life, I was lucky.
I'm gonna reveal you a secret. I was trying to understand how to do the giveaway in the best way possible so that it's transparent, and I show that I choose by accident whoever was about to win the ticket. And the night before, I found this platform where you have this spinning wheel, where you insert the names and you spin the wheel, and then a person is picked. And I tested it, and the test you were chosen as the first one. So I
Ah,
was like,
really?
"Oh, that's gonna be so sucky if like now she doesn't win because the wheel doesn't pick her." And in fact, the next try, the wheel picked another person, but then you were the second one, and the first guy didn't manage because he was in Australia, and so
So I was
uh,
lucky 2 times.
two times you were like destiny wanted
Yeah,
that you are the chosen one to go on the D2. But before we start talking about the D2, which I'm very curious to know about, because actually the tickets. So I was supposed to get the ticket as a media partner. So Fabio told me, "Yeah, we're gonna offer you a ticket. You can come over. You can do videos. You can do vlogs and stuff." But my yearly plans for holidays were completely overbooked, and I was thinking, okay, I said, Fabio, I'm sorry, I cannot come. And then I thought, well, why don't I give the chance to someone else who really, really also would enjoy it, and would have fun, and would be nice to interact with people from the industry to go. And you were the lucky one. So you can briefly say who you are, what you do, at
yeah,
which step in your career you're currently.
yes. Actually, I'm in Berlin. I'm working with Bloom Images Berlin, and I started here 2 years ago after my master MADI in Venice. And I started here because I won the first competition at MADI, and this competition was organized with Bloom Images. And so that's why I'm here now. And I started with 3 month internship, and after that, trial contracts, and after that, they offer me a permanent contract. So I'm here.
That sounds really good. It's like so funny because I moved to Italy when I was a kid. I grew up in Italy, and now I'm in Germany trying to do this international podcast. But I just stumble only over Italians. We probably have conquered the whole industry of design around the world. Which part of Italy are you from, and where have you
Uh,
studied?
Yeah, I come from a little town in the south of Italy. The name is Tursi, near Matera. So I come from Basilicata, and but I studied architecture in Florence. And during my last years of university, I realized that I wanna discover more about this world because I had like a little crisis because I didn't want to be an architect. And so I remember that one day I was talking with my friend Paola Frascerra. We were in a library preparing an exam for the university, and I told her, I don't want to be an architect. And I don't know what I want to be, but not an architect. And she opened my mind because his boyfriends were starting the Madi Master in Venice. And so that's why I discovered the Madi. So thanks to Paola Frascera and Emanuele Longo, they now they are working in Milan with Evo Club. They founded Evo Club, They do very cool things. And so that's why I started to do some courses. And my first course was with Michela Tonelli in Florence. Yeah, I learned about Cinema 4D and V-Ray with her. And after that, thanks to them, I went to my first D2 in 2018. So that was my first D2, and I didn't know anything about this word. Anything. I think I was the only one in that in that conference that didn't know anything. But I was able to talk with a lot of artists, and in those days I realized that um, that was my word. I would be, yes, in that word for the rest of my life. And so that's why after that summer I did a workshop with Karim Mosa in Florence, and it was organized by Michela Tonelli also. And after that, I did a course with um, Angelo Ferretti. I did an intensive course of 1 week in Milan about Cinema 4D and Corona Render. And after that week, I created my first photorealistic image. And I was so happy. Yeah, it was incredible for me. And so I was sure of my choice about MADI. So after university, I started my MADI experience. And
All people
yeah.
that I know that I've never met in person. I know Michela Tonelli. I was considering doing some stuff online about cinema. I also wanted to invite her to the podcast. And is Paola Frascera the sister or somehow related
No,
to
no.
Lucia?
No, no,
Or
no, no.
is
They
it
are
just an
not.
accident that two people in
Yes.
ARCHVIZ have the same last name?
Yeah, it's just an accident, and yeah, but they both are very funny people. So
That's
yeah, it's a guarantee. The surname, it's a guarantee.
because I was like thinking, okay, I know Lucia, she's saying Paula, maybe she's messing
No, no, no,
around
it's not wrong.
so
Yeah,
I looked on Instagram and said, yeah, there is a Paula.
yeah.
And they
There is.
also got married approximately around the same time.
No,
or,
no,
or
Paola not.
oh,
Lucia, yes, but Paola not yet with
okay,
Emanuela.
because
But
Paula has
we hope
some
in the future.
pictures of a wedding on her.
Okay,
So it was
I will
extremely
check.
extremely confusing, extremely confusing. But you came from south of Italy to Florence. I studied in Rome, but after visiting Florence, it's so far my favorite city in Italy because it seems to be as beautiful as Rome because it's full of this beautiful architecture from the Renaissance. Um, it has sort of the spirit of Rome, but without the chaos, because
Yeah,
Rome it's
it's
too
true.
big and too chaotic, too many people from all around the world. Um, and for you, how was the experience to study architecture in such a city as Florence?
It was amazing, and I choose Florence because Rome was my first choice, but it was too big for me, and also the university was too big and a lot of students, and so that's why I choose Florence. And it was amazing because the university is in the historical center and is near Santa Croce, so 10 minutes by walk from Duomo. And so you study things, and after you study those things, you can go by walk and watch them face to face, no? So it was amazing. And you can also walk in Florence, and yeah, there are a lot of tourists, so that was the problem of Florence. Too much tourists. But if you go out a little bit outside of the center, there are lots of beautiful area and beautiful architecture also outside of Florence, Pisa, Siena, yeah, San
Yeah.
Gimignano, a lot. So
I mean,
yeah,
Toscana, it's beautiful.
it's
It has
beautiful.
been represented in so many movies that probably overrepresented. And how
Yeah.
was the education side of it? Like, because you mentioned you were like studying architecture, but you didn't want to be an architect, which is by itself very interesting. So, how were the
Um,
professors? Where did you have a lot of freedoms, or were they rather conservative?
uh, they were a bit conservative, but I liked. I liked to study architecture, but in the last years, maybe because there were a lot of structure exams, and I didn't like them a lot, and so yeah, that's why I I thought that was not my path to follow. And yeah, because yeah, they were a bit conservative, but I think it's a really good university. So yeah, if someone wants to study architecture there, I think is one of the most mm, beautiful, but also they prepare you in everything.
And
Not
and you studied just a bachelor there, or did you do like
uh,
masters too?
and I did the 5 years
Ah, okay.
university, so I did everything there. Yes, and after that, I started in Venice the master Madi.
Maybe
Um,
if you have picked Rome, you would have studied with me then.
maybe.
And how was you mentioned the first approach to ARCHVIZ was with Michela Tonelli. What was called her? She had sort of this.
Yes,
Cool. I don't remember. Yeah, we see we both very bad with names.
yes,
I'll figure that out. But anyway, she has this cool. I'm gonna look for it while you talk. But so you started a class there, also like an extra class that you just needed to pay for. So it was not with the
yeah.
university. It was an extra.
An extra class, yes. We did courses twice a week in the evening, and we concentrated on V-Ray. So it wasn't a lot about modellation, 3D model, but it was about uh, lights and materials and V-Ray. Yeah, and it was really cool because I think that to start in this field, you need to know the basis, no? At least. So she gave me the basis to start in this field.
But
Yeah,
without going deep down into modeling, just like
yeah,
principles.
yeah. And I did with Angelo Ferretti. I went more into the 3D modellation. So yeah, with Angelo, I learned a lot about 3D stuff, and after that, Corona render.
Okay, so like your
Also,
first foundations were more concentrated into Cinema 4D.
yes, yes, in more into Cinema 4D. Also because I knew that in Madi there wasn't and there isn't Cinema 4D. And so that's why I wanted to try both Cinema 4D and also 3ds Max. So at Madi I studied 3ds Max, and before Madi I studied Cinema 4D.
Was it helpful for you to be able to model stuff in Cinema 4D first,
Yes.
in order to learn 3ds Max? Uh,
Yes, because at Madi, for example, I started with the advanced level. Also, if I never opened 3ds Max, but you are inside the how I can model something, because it's similar. Cinema 4D is more similar to 3ds Max instead of Rhino, for example. Rhino is completely different. And at university, I was using Rhino, and yeah, it's completely different.
Yeah, they're more like what is it called? Like poly modeling. So you use these polygons in order to make the shapes, while
Yes.
um, Rhino uses NURBS, so it's something different. And so did you started doing these classes while you were still at university, or you first graduated and then you started doing all these things?
No, I started as soon as I talked with Paola. After a few weeks, I started with Michela Tonelli and everything, and I also started Madi before finish the university. But I had to finish it until January, because otherwise I couldn't continue the master. So the master Madi was my motivation to finish the architecture school.
Wait a second. You couldn't take part because the Master of Madi requires you to have a
Y-
degree.
yes, yeah,
Ah,
because
okay.
it's a second level master degree, so you need to finish
Your
your
master.
your master, everything in at university, and after that you can start with Madi.
Okay. And how did you? We mentioned her before. God damn, the lady of Render It.
Ah, Lisa Della Dora.
Lisa de la Dora, thank
Yes.
you. I'm sorry for everyone, but I have had over 100 people on the podcast, and I know all of them, what they do, who they are, where they live, but I don't remember names, or I forget them because, like, I don't know, I mix names sometimes. Um, and she explained to me that you can apply and then you pay, or you can get a scholarship. So did you get some scholarship, or you just needed to, or you just normally applied and where you get a normal spot?
No, I applied to Madi, and I paid the first part of the total amount, and I paid the second part after my graduation. So if I couldn't finish my university, for example, I couldn't continue Master Madi, and so I would not pay the second part.
Okay,
I
okay,
think. Mm, yeah.
okay. And the Master Madi was 1 year.
Yes, 1 year.
So you
Mhm.
moved, you were so unlucky to move from Florence to Venice, another very, very
Yeah, but
ugly, very
no,
ugly.
but I were really unlucky, because and as soon as I moved to Venice, the corona came. So
But not the
I
Corona renderer.
I know, unfortunately. So yeah, I was a bit unlucky in that period, but yeah, after that,
And did you
that
need to
period finished.
do, did you need to study like the masters from home, like from distance, or
And yes, because from March we started only online classes, and so I went in Venice in January, February, and in March everything started online. So
did you move back to like home?
no, I stayed in Venice all the months, doing online classes alone at home, because all my roommates went in south of Italy except me, and so yeah.
But so how was it? How did, like, in that 1 year of studies, how did you feel about it? Where was it, like, after you graduated? You said there was some sort of competition. Do you think that after you graduate the Master Madi, you could completely independently make images, or you would think still need to work for some office in order to get a better experience?
No, after Madi, okay, Madi gives you the base, I think, and you can also do really amazing images, photorealistic images. But I think that in your life you never stop to learn, and I never want to stop to learn more. And so no, I couldn't start by myself alone doing images, because I needed, and also I need nowadays someone with more experience than me, and because I want to learn more. And yeah.
Yeah. So
But
it's a great way to get yourself a structure with
mm,
which to work and then build upon by having still like some mentors or something like that.
yeah.
Oh, that sounds a good career path. And at the end of this studies, what was this competition with Bloom that landed you this job at the end?
Yeah, this competition was in March during the MADI school, and this was the first competition. And they told us to do an image. The thematic was free, completely free, but the only thing that we have had to do, it was to scan an object and put this object in the scene, a 3D scan, using 3D scan. Yeah. And so I decided to s- since this was our the only thing that we need to follow.
The only rule.
Yes, the only rule. I decided to put these objects like the in the central of my scene, to start from this object to create my scene.
Hmm.
And so I scanned my shoes red, and I changed the color in Photoshop. The red shoes. I don't know if you saw my image, red shoes. That was my first image, and that was the image that, thanks to this image, I won the competition. And the image talks about the violence against women. And thanks to this image, I was contacted from Nigel Hunt. He is organizing the 3ds London. It's a conference that happens every first Wednesday of the month in London. And he contacted me, and he asked me if he could use my image for a campaign, for a for the violence against women. And obviously I told him yes, sure, do it. And also he did an interview to me, and that was my first interview in the 3ds Lando, but it was an online interview. And so this image opened to me a lot of doors. And I also, thanks to this image, also I arrived at the final between. I was one of the finalists at the CG Awards in 2020. And it was also published in the 3D Shipley magazine, 3D Shipley magazine. And so yeah, during that year I was really lucky, thanks to this image. And it was, yeah, amazing.
My grandma always says that you work for your luck. So luck, it's not purely luck. I think it's great. I mean, when you told me this story, it's like I've tried to see if the image is on your Instagram, but I haven't found it. If you want, send me the image and I'll put it in the video too, and I'll so that people can see and
Yes,
understand.
sure.
You can do it also later. But
Okay, yeah.
I'll put it in the video so that people can understand exactly what you're talking about. But I think
Mhm.
it's a very good idea that you have had, because it's very relatable. It was very relatable in that moment, because during Corona we were hearing, especially I was reading also Italian news about the violence upon women, because everybody were locked down. So this phenomena was even getting worse. And I don't know, it made me think about the first video that got Casey Neistat viral on YouTube. I don't know if you know him. He's a very famous YouTuber, and his first video was about he getting a fine because he wasn't riding on the bike lane in New York. And then write on the they had written on the fine, always ride in the bike lane. And then he started crashing into the stuff that were on the bike lane on this video. And he said, please, New York PD, don't fine the bikers, but fine the people that are standing on the bike lanes. And this video was like literally blowing the internet. And I think that the image you did was so successful because it was relatable for so many people out there that were concerned about this issue. So I don't think it's a luck. I think you had a very good intuition.
Thank
Um,
you.
and so you completed the masters, and then you moved to Berlin to work for Bloom.
Yes.
How was moving out of Italy after such a path that you have had?
Uh, it was really cool because I wanted to do something outside of Italy, at least for a certain period of my life. So um, yeah, it was cool, but also a bit difficult because there were Corona, and so fortunately I started my internship here, and I could came to the office because some of my friends, for example, they did the internship totally online, and so yeah, I was lucky to came here, and but fortunately now the situation is better, and so I can enjoy more the city, and yeah, but
How it is Berlin compared to the many Italian cities that you have lived in? Because I've lived mainly in Rome in Italy. I haven't been wandering around or roaming around as you did, because you lived in south of Italy, in Toscana, and then in Venice.
yeah.
So how do you feel Germany and Berlin compared to Italy?
um I feel the first thing, I think that here there are a lot more green areas, a lot of parks, and you can really enjoy to be in the park instead of Italy, because in Italy we don't have a lot of these really big parks. And so the thing that I love more here are the parks. And another difference is that, yeah, it's really, very big. It's a big city, but you can also live well in your quartier because you have everything. And yeah, sure, it's a bit difficult also because you don't know me. I don't know the language, so I don't know German. So sometimes I can feel it, but Berlin is also international, fortunately, so you can speak English everywhere, and also with children or older people, you can speak in English. And so yeah, I like it. I like it a lot, but also I miss Italy.
Yeah, I think how long have you been now here in Berlin? 1 year?
2 years.
2 years. Well, for me, it's now 7 years, so I can
Ah,
tell you,
7.
you get used to it. And I think, yeah, I think it's weird at the end, because sort of absorb one part of the country you're in, and you keep one part of the country you're from. And I don't know, in the end you feel a little bit home at both sides. Like you kind of like the two things together. It depends how long you will
Yeah, it
stay.
depends.
um and so now we come to you being actually lucky, because for this luck you didn't work, you just commented our photo, and you got to get the ticket for the D2. So this was your second attendance at the D2, right?
No, it was my third
Oh,
D2.
okay.
Yeah, because in 2018 I decided to go every year to the D2. So I went to in 2008 19 as a volunteer. Yeah, so I was in the organization. And after that, during Corona, yeah, I couldn't go. So I just watched it online. And this year, I didn't buy the ticket because I was planning to go on a trip with my family. And that's why when you brought me, I was not sure if I could go to the D2. But fortunately, I could move this little trip, and I could go to the D2. So yeah, it was my third time.
So you went once before you were even into the industry, let's say. You went just to check it out how it is. And you the one was as a volunteer. I think
Yeah,
one was online, so you kind of I think the corona year was online, right? Because it
yes, it was online.
and now you went one more time again as an attendee. What does make the D2 so special? Because I'm an architect. I found about Fabio and the D2 also because I was considering going into the ARCHVIZ industry, and because I'm from Bulgaria, VRA is from Bulgaria. Bulgaria is a big hub for ARCHVIZ, and so this is how I found out. But for me it's very fascinating that the D2, it's sort of this magic place for the tribe of the ARCHVIZ artists. So you as one uh, member of this tribe, what makes it so special? Why everybody are so excited about it? Why everybody like look forward to it? Really, I can see that.
Yeah, yeah, it's special because the environment is not formal, and so you can talk with everyone. You can talk with the speakers. You can talk with very good artists, and they inspired me a lot. I asked about their life, how they started doing images or animations, and I think it's amazing because you are like friends of everyone, and you can talk with everyone with the beer in your hand, and it's really comfortable like this. No, it's not a formal conference where you sit and you have to stay in silence and wait. And no, it's not like this. It's more like you see Fabio Palvelli. It's that, so you can understand.
For sure it's colored.
Yeah.
It's colorful for sure. Fabio sometimes have almost all the rainbow colors.
Oh
Okay.
yes, yes.
No, and I had him on. I don't know which podcast was 20 something maybe. I don't remember the number because before when I started the podcast, I was thinking it's gonna be easy to start with my friends, but the thing is that my friends didn't want to do the podcast. So I got in touch with Fabio, and it took a while, but then he did it. Not because he didn't want to, just because he was busy. and he told me the story about the first D2 and his personal story, and I was like, yeah, this sounds like a lot of a lot of fun. And the guy, it's really like an interesting character, let's say.
Yeah.
Extremely friendly, extremely open, and organizing these things, it's cool.
You
um
never met him in person?
no, in person never, but
Ah,
we
okay.
speak a lot. We make jokes. It's so weird because I know now so many people from all over the world, and it's so weird because I know them quite well, but maybe I've never met them in person. So I have sometimes I went to Copenhagen and I met some of the people that I know there. And it was really funny to meet them live because we already knew each other, just we never met, and we actually knew each other very well. But and people that listen to the podcast know me because they listen all the episodes, so they know maybe something already, or every time I
Yeah,
tell a story.
and yeah, I can understand because it was the same for me this year at D2, because I met people that I already know and people that I didn't know, but also people that I know only from the profile picture on Instagram or Facebook. And so it was really fun, for example, I met for the first time Nigel Hans, and I talked with him a lot on Facebook or during the interview, but I never met him face to face, and so it was really fun, and also, for example, I met people that recognize my images, and so they told me, ah, you are Nadia, oh okay, you did this image, and so nice to meet you. And so it was really wow. So this D2 for me, it was maybe the best one, because I could talk with a lot of people that I already met online, or yeah, so it was different this time.
Yeah, I think also because it was the one in person after like 1 or 2 years. I
Yeah.
think 1 year or 2 years of not being able to do it in presence. And so this year the D2 went from Thursday to Saturday, and then the first day there was this Red Vertex workshop that
Mhm.
was also streamed online. So I think it's still available on the D2 channel. What was that about? Because I was working, I couldn't I couldn't follow that really, but I
I
saw that
I
it was
was I
streaming.
wasn't in Vienna in on Tuesday,
Okay,
so yeah, I couldn't be during the workshop. I arrived in Vienna on Friday, so
okay. But you
yeah,
were able to attend the Friday conference already.
yes, yes,
So you
yes.
arrived like in the Friday morning.
Yes, I arrived in the morning, and so yeah, I was there Friday and Saturday.
Okay. And then okay, how does it work? Because there are different speakers, so different topics, I guess. What were for you, for example, personally, the things that were more impressive, the speakers that have I don't know what got stuck in your head while they're listening the different speakers.
Yeah, yeah, it works like there are almost five many around five speakers per day, and so there is one speaker, after that there is a break, and after that another speaker, and lunch break, and it's like this, so you can stop during the speakers, and you can also talk with them. And yeah, one of the most funny speaker was Fabian, Nick Denboer.
He'll be
He
on the podcast, by the way.
really
Yeah.
okay. Oh, he's a really funny guy, but also um, he does animations, films, motion graphics, but really funny things. It's incredible things, and we were all laughing while he was showing uh, his works. And yeah, and he was one of my best speakers that I saw, because I was thinking to start learning something about motion graphics, animations, and so watching this thing, I was okay. Yeah, I have to try something.
Yeah,
uh,
I saw he does this sort of I don't know. They're even a little bit uncensored thing. Let's say.
yes, yes, that is the yes, that is the best thing, because there is no sense in those
Yeah.
things, but you just laugh and
He
yeah.
reminds a little bit of Beeple, just in motion, because Beeple usually does still images, and
Hmm.
he does more like these animations. Also, his Instagram, and yeah, and then I saw, okay, this is kind of perverted, so I want to talk to this.
Yeah.
I want to talk to
So
this
it's
guy.
perfect.
This
Yeah.
is this is my, because I have this humor. The people that know me, they know I have this very politically incorrect humor,
Yeah.
and I like people that do this stuff that you're not supposed to see out there. So
Yes. Yeah.
it was, and so how it's structured, but like the different speakers, do they do sort of a lecture, or they present how they do their work, or they talk, I don't know, business, or they talk certain topic, how it is
Um,
structured?
yeah, it depends. They can choose the topic, and so some of them show how is workflow, for example, or some of them how to deal with clients, and or how they uh, how they find inspiration, and how they transform this inspiration to the final image or the final animation. So it depends. It's there is a variety. It's not only about ARCHVIZ or only about still images. No, there is everything, and I think that this is really cool, because for example, I always did images. I always did ARCHVIZ, and now I want to explore more, because if I don't explore, I can't understand really what I want to do in my life. No, so I understood that I need to explore other fields, and so that's why I really like this kind of organization, and also that there are different speakers coming from different backgrounds.
And I don't know how many people attends the D2, because I remember you got your ticket, and in the time you got your ticket, also the regular tickets were sold out. So I
Maybe
saw that
300.
yeah, approximately like the capacity of the space they take there. So do you have the opportunity to, because I know that in between the breaks and also lunch, dinner, I think it's kind of everything there at the D2. So that's also one part of it, that it makes it really nice, right? That you don't only have the lectures, but then you have also like the fun part where you drink, where you eat, and everything. Do you have really opportunity to network? Like, the is it coming a lot of like natural networking? By that I mean like, you exchange contacts, you say to people, let's collaborate, or um yeah, like maybe people just exchange opinions and then job opportunities in the future can come out of this? Is it, do you think it's a good place for, if you're like start, if you're in the ARCHVIZ industry and you want to also to network a little bit, also for collaborations or for future job opportunities?
Yeah, I think it's perfect for these things, and I talked with different people and also some speakers like Raffaele Micillo, for example. He's a motion graphic designer. Angelo Cicatiello from Glamodrama. Nick Dember, Fabian Oberhammer. I don't know if the pronunciation is good. We had lunch together, and with Alex Hauro from Brick Visual. So I talked with different speakers, but also other artists, and I think yes, it's a really good opportunity to make connections, also for maybe future collaborations. And yeah, absolutely. Also, while you are having dinner or after dinner, mm, yeah, I think this is the best part of the D2. The breaks and the dinner, the lunch. These are the one of the best parts.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought so. And this is what I wanted to like go for, to experience, like to, as you to explore that mood, that emotions that you can feel at the D2 conference. Because uh, I heard that from a lot of people that have been on the podcast from the ARCHVIZ industry. They like that I am not an ARCHVIZ artist and I do the podcast and I invite them on, because I'm very neutral to everyone. You know, like I am not part of it. So as every industry, I think there are like rumors, gossips. So I don't know, at sometimes maybe even beefs, you know, like people. And I'm like neutral. I talk to everybody, and I really like to know about it, because I think that me, I'm an architect and I'm on the side of the client usually for you. And I think that understanding what you do, it's gonna be better for me also to know how to work with the artist that works with me, and for everybody. So I think that's great. So over, like, it's, let's sum it up. It's like fun, beers, and ArcViz conferences. And
Yeah.
did you stay then the Sunday just to enjoy a little bit more Vienna, or did you then move to your next trip or
Uh,
came back?
I'm unfortunately I took the bus.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, from Berlin. So at 1 o'clock on Sunday, before lunch, I went to Berlin with the bus, and so I couldn't enjoy a lot of my Sunday with the others, uh, but Friday and Saturday was really was enough. But no, what's enough. But also, I was really sad that were only 2 days. Maybe next time we can ask to Fabio to do the D2 in 1 week. It was
Next time, it's, I know that is the 10th conference.
10.
This was
Yes.
number 9. So it's gonna be huge.
Yes, really huge. And in February, I will buy the tickets. I will be the first one to
Oh,
buy the
they're releasing
ticket.
them already in February. Uh,
February or March, I don't know when, but I will be the first one.
yeah, I'll be. I hope I can be media partner again.
And
I
don't plan your trip.
I think I'm doing a good job as a good media partner. No, but because I don't do it, I I mean, I wanted to hear, to listen from you that you've been so many years, because I like it as an idea. I think it's cool that you have something like that. I can compare it like to TED talks that are only about ARCHVIZ, and I think they should make something like this in the industry for architecture and design, that it's more like the D2.
Yeah.
So I like the project because also I know the story behind it. I know how it started. It's a long-term thing, and people are very happy to attend it and really look forward to it. They come from all over the world. That for me, it's like crazy. So
Yeah. Australia, Canada, yes, all
the
over the
United
world.
States, they come from everywhere. So it's
Yeah.
like uh, I don't know. Maybe they should start doing it not only in Vienna, but
Yeah, me with my friends Vincenzo Sardone, we told the same. Maybe we can change city and go, yeah, around the world.
I'm just gonna say Frankfurt has a great airport.
Yeah, we can go there next time.
Great train station. Just
Also
saying.
Berlin.
Great internet connection. No, yeah, well, it's cool, and it's cool that we could have a little bit of a hint from an insider that went there. Um, and to understand a little bit more about it. So it was cool. Do you have now? You said that you have gathered a little bit of inspiration through the D2. So is it for you the next thing you want to explore a little bit of this motion graphic, or do you have any other plans that you want to explore and inspirations? In which direction you wanna develop your artistic and creative career?
Yeah, I wanna try something like VFX or animations, and I also, for example, I did my new website 2 days ago. So if you wanna check, now it's public,
What is it? The
and
website?
nadiamonte.com. And I also opened 1 or 3 days ago an account
Yeah.
on Foundation because I want to start to sell my images as NFT.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
yeah, yeah, I can hear. Just some
Yeah.
motorbike
Okay.
passing by my place.
Okay. Yeah, I wanna start to sell my images, and because I realized that I really love doing personal projects, and I want to spend more time doing these things. So if there is the opportunity to sell them, it would be amazing. And so I will sell my first NFT in the next weeks, and it will be the red shoes image, the image that I mentioned before. And yeah, I wanna for sure learn more about animations and these things that I
I
told you before.
I think in my personal opinion, I think you shouldn't sell that image. I think you should sell the other images, and then if you sell this image, it would be beautiful. This is just my suggestion. You can do
Hmm.
whatever. I'm just saying. I think the story of this image, I just now see it on your website because I went on your website and people can check it. um, the story of the image and the power of the image. It's so beautiful that, and it's beautiful that it's made by a woman. It's not made by a CG artist. That's a man. Um, I think you should sell it at some point where you
Where
can sell it.
someone
You can sell
knows
it
me more. Mm.
and donate the money to some organization or make an organization. I think Yeah, I think this is the way you should go, like to do images about things that you care about because you have this very good storytelling technique. And maybe you can do also short animations if you want to learn more about this, like by making stories. But it's my personal opinion. I now that I know the story of this image, and it's really really beautiful. Um, I I think you should consider it. Like it's my suggestion. Think big.
Yeah, I will think about it.
I think it's. I mean, it's not the only great image that you have done out there, and all the images that you have done. I think that the power of I think the power of the storytelling of that image it's very good, and you can make images about other stories that you like telling, and they can be also happy stories. It doesn't have to be yeah, whatever it matters to you. I don't know. Can be love, can be family, can be homeland, can be you
Yeah,
you you have a good
I
you have a
no, no,
good
sorry.
you have a good sense of distilling a single idea. You took violence upon women and you distilled it in such a it's a still image, but I always say that when because I'm I can be like a art critique because I don't do the images by myself. But I mean, what it's making image, you could draw the image, so you can always draw a story. But like this image says so much, you can think about I don't know you can see the image and think of so many stories of women that have uh, uh, how do you say that have been violated somehow by their partners or by another man. So yeah, I think it's a really strong way that you have distilled in this image, and I think it's like selling a Picasso more or less.
Oh, wow.
Don't start with that one.
Thank you very much for your words, and I will think about it for sure. And yeah, I really like to talk about people's emotions and feelings, and
It,
yeah,
it, it,
but
it, in my opinion, as a suggestion, it has to be something that you feel you care about. Like I think you're gonna be doing a great work if it's something that you care about. Like if it's gonna be an emotion that makes you happy, like friendship, or I don't know, people do stuff they care about, right? So I don't know, you don't have to do it on if you don't care about, I don't know, if you don't care about animal protection, then it shouldn't be about animals. But if you care about something else, then do it about that something else that you care about. And I'm pretty sure you'll get inspirations to do it. And maybe in the beginning it will be difficult because it's always difficult to start with a basically white paper, so to say,
yeah.
white canvas. But yeah, no, for sure. I suggest to people to follow your website, to follow you starting doing NFTs because they will be of a very, very high value,
Thank you.
and to check it out. And I'm looking forward to see more. And when there is something new you want to share, now you're part of the not only of the D2 family, but of the family of the Creative Insider podcast guests that are always
Thank you.
welcome back. I say this is the first time you're on the show, but it doesn't have to be the last one. So
Oh, wow.
wherever you want to share some big news or some news in general that it's important to share for the world of creatives, you're welcome back. And as you might know, I always like to finish the interviews with a positive note of inspiration. So I ask every guest, what is something that inspires you when you feel a little bit uninspired, if it's a movie, if it's some music, if it's some sport, if it's a place where you like to go, if it's a podcast. It doesn't have all of those things, but something that it's from the top of your mind.
Yeah, for sure. I love the nature in general. And so when I need to find an inspiration, I go in the nature. Here are parks, in Italy mountains, but yeah, the nature, I love it. And I also love to watch people and imagine their life. And so that's why I really love photography. For example, as someone like Steve McCurry, for example, or Lee Jeffries. I really love your photos because um, they tell a story, but not only the story that there is in that moment with that person, but you can imagine which story there is behind that photo, no? Which story there is in your life. You can imagine the life of those people, and that's why I really love those works and those photos. And obviously also cinema. I watch Netflix. I love Netflix. So for example, the Queen's Gambit, for example, I think that this TV series has a lot about color palettes, scenography, composition. It's perfect. And so yeah, the first thing that inspired me is the photography, I think.
No, it's a great tip, and you mentioned photographers that I didn't know. I mean, the one I know that did that super famous picture of that girl with the green eyes, blue eyes. I don't remember what is it called. The title of the picture. I mean, Steve McCurry.
On
He's
the
really
National Geographic, he
yeah.
published it. Yeah,
Well, then, Nadia, thank you very much for your time on the
thank
weekend.
you too.
And I'm looking forward to see your next images.
Thank you very much for everything. And yeah, I hope to see you again soon to update you about my news.
Maybe
So
live in Berlin or in Frankfurt. You're always welcome to visit the city.
thank you. Thank you very much.
Bye bye.
Bye. Bye bye.